What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackowitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for WWE's WrestleMania 2019. I gotta say, I was really worried about this WrestleMania. I thought the card didn't look good. I wasn't excited about a lot of things. They definitely made it feel like WrestleMania, like a big event. And I was pleasantly surprised with some of the avenues they went down for this pay-per-view. So I'm going to jump right into this, get started, talk about the matches a little bit, and then I'll give you my overall opinion at the end. You start out the pre-show, you have 4 matches. The first one is Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. This is exactly what you would expect it to be from the Cruiserweights, high-flying, a lot of action. People were still filing in, so you didn't have the raucous crowd that you normally would have. Very fun, though. Some really good spots. Tony Nese doing his, twisting flip over the top rope, stuff like that. Just really cool to watch. At the end of the day, Tony Nese gets the win. He is the new Cruiserweight champion, so we got a new head at 205. It was good. It was a good way to start. You move right into the Women's Royal Rumble match, or Battle Royal, I should say, and this was just a waste of space, honestly. There was nothing good about it. At the end of the day, they even chose Carmella to win, which I felt was a horrible choice. Because she had her big run last year. She's not that good. I mean, I like her more as a face. I think she's better as a face. I know that's the point, but she actually is better as a face. But she's just not that damn good. At the end of the day, she's not. It's not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but I did not like this choice. So the whole thing was a waste of space to me. And at the end, you thought, just before Carmella sneaks back into the ring, you thought it was going to be Sarah Logan who was going to win, and I was not excited about that either. So I wasn't a fan. So far they're 1 for 2. The Revival come out. They take on Hawkins and Ryder. Now, I thought that they were giving the Revival a spot because Dash Wilder stood up for Bret Hart and smashed some dude in the face last night. Instead, Hawkins and Ryder break their losing streak, pin the Revival, and are the new tag team champions on Raw. It was good for surprise, not what I would have went with. Especially after Dash Wilder, kind of stood up and did the right thing at the Hall of Fame ceremony. I didn't understand that choice at all, but whatever. Not for me to say. The match itself was decent. I don't know if there was anything spectacular about it. I don't know, man. I was really surprised by that ending. Then you move into the last match, which is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal / piss break / food break, whatever it is. Nothing about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal since its inception has been interesting. You go in there, you've got these 2 goofs from Saturday Night Live. You've got a bunch of low card, mid card guys. You got Braun Strowman and the Hardy Boys. And it goes exactly like you think it would go. The 2 guys from Saturday Night Live, they leave the ring, they come back at the very end, try to get Braun Strowman out. Braun Strowman wins. Nothing really impressive about any of it. So the pre-show was very weak. You had 1 good match and 3 very questionable matches. Just a waste of space, a waste of talent. I think they should put a little bit more effort into thinking about, if they're going to do these battle royals, they need to construct them a lot better, first of all. But then they need to figure out how to really make them interesting. I mean, you're talking WrestleMania, and they're just not. There's really not anything interesting about these. So it didn't set a great tone for WrestleMania, but then you get to the main show. Alexa Bliss comes out, she's the host. Don't know why. I mean, if you're going to get a host, get a fucking host. Come on now. And so she brings out Hulk Hogan. He does his Hulk Hogan bit. Everybody kind of pops because it's Hulk Hogan. And like literally as soon as his promo's done, before he's even left the stage, Paul Heyman walks out. He says Brock Lesnar's insulted because he's not the main event. So if he's not going to be the main event, he just wants to get this done and over with. He comes out, and that launches Lesnar and Rollins. And it is exactly what you'd think it would be. Brock Lesnar just mauling Rollins. And a lot of people were surprised that Brock Lesnar lost. I wasn't. I kind of expected Rollins to take the belt. But it was a good setup. Like, it really was a good way to catch you by the throat right at the beginning of WrestleMania. Rollins throws Lesnar into the ref. The ref gets knocked out of the ring. Hits the low blow on Lesnar. Hits a couple of stomps. Lesnar gets pinned. Rollins, new Raw Universal Champion. So that's cool. I liked it. It was good. It looked like Rollins took some nasty bumps too. His back was bruised, like literally 3/4 of his back. And so he took a nasty bump somewhere. The next match is AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. This match I wasn't particularly excited about, and I think if you watch the match, you see why. AJ Styles is absolutely amazing in the ring. Randy Orton, he's good at selling, he's good at storytelling, but, I think the two styles were going to clash a little bit, and that they did. It was a good match. It was not nearly as good a match as AJ Styles has had in the past. So it was definitely good. It was, entertaining. You had some spots. You had, the superplex and stuff like that. You had the jockeying for position with the RKO and the elbow. At the end of the day, Randy Orton hits an RKO. AJ Styles pops out. Randy Orton shocked along with everybody else. And AJ Styles comes back, hits his elbow, gets the win. So that was cool. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't totally invested in the match. I feel like I said, it was good. But that's all it was. And then you get the Usos versus The Bar versus Rusev and Shinsuke versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. And I was really, really rooting for Aleister Black and Ricochet to get the belts. That didn't happen, but it was a damn good match. Like, really entertaining match. Obviously, Aleister Black, Ricochet, the Usos, The Bar, they're all really good. So, the Usos pick up the win, which I was kind of surprised. I mean, they're a great team and they're more than deserving. I was just a little surprised. I thought they were going to go for the shock title change. But I can't really complain about it. Like, as far as the match itself goes, it keeps you invested the whole time. Like, these guys are just pulling off some crazy shit. Of course they are. So, that was another really good segment. Then they did their Hall of Fame inductees bit. I already talked about the Hall of Fame ceremony. So then you get Shane McMahon versus The Miz, Falls Count Anywhere. And The Miz, I've said before, is the kind of wrestler who, if he's with somebody better than him, like say a Seth Rollins, the match can look really, really good. If he's with someone his ability or below, it's going to be an okay match. I'm kind of eating my words though, because he really brought it at WrestleMania, man. Like, him and Shane, they really had some good spots. This is a match that far exceeded my expectations, honestly. They were everywhere, through the crowd, in the back area. They had this like scaffolding set up where they have cameras set up on different level platforms. And so they're climbing this thing, and there's a lot of cool stuff that happened, Shane McMahon falling off one level onto a lower level, and you didn't realize that lower level was there at first. And then the match ends when they go to the top of this towering camera platform, and they do this like big suplex down onto this platform way below them, like 15 feet below them. And, everybody, as soon as they got up on the top of it, you knew something was going to happen. And so The Miz is actually the one that pulls off the suplex. And it was cool, man. It was a good spot. Um, but because of the way they landed, Shane McMahon kind of lands on top of the Miz. He gets the pin. It's false count anywhere, and there you go. Good match. Really good match. I liked it. I was really surprised by the aggressiveness of Mike. That'd be the Miz. And, he really brought his A game. So I was super impressed. The next match is Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus the Iconics versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix. There were some parts in here that were sloppy, and I'm going to make mention of it right away because holy God was this horrible. Just a horrible decision, in my opinion. The worst part of the match were the Iconics. They were kind of stumbling around at times, and they were, not exactly where they should be. They win the match. I was dumbfounded. You take the tag titles from somebody like Sasha Banks and Bayley, who are at least pretty damn good in the ring. They're not always perfect, and both of them have had stumbles and stuff in the past. You've got Natalya and Beth Phoenix. Natalya is probably the best women's wrestler in there right now, and Beth Phoenix is, Beth Phoenix. And you get the Iconics win. And I was on Twitter, and half the people were really supportive and really happy for him, and the other half were just like, why? Why would this happen? And I'm happy for them. They're working their butts off. I get it. It's a hard gig. But at the end of the day, you put the belts on who's the best or who at least deserves it. And I didn't see that here. They are still very unrefined in the ring, and they're horrible promos. Fucking horrible. So I was not a fan of that at all. I mean, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I was happy for them. You could tell they were very emotional about winning. But at the end of the day, man, I don't feel like that was the right choice. So I was really disappointed in that one. Really disappointed. And then you get Kofi Kingston with the New Day versus Daniel Bryan with Eric Rowan. Damn good match. Really, really damn good match. I love Daniel Bryan's aggressiveness and the way he just sells everything, and I've said that before. But Kofi Kingston kind of matched that a lot of times during this match too. It was really good. The athleticism of Kofi Kingston was definitely on display here in this match. It was just a very entertaining, just draws you in kind of match. And I'll be honest, there were times when I was watching this and I'm like, oh my God, they're not going to give it to Kofi. And just getting all excited when you really think Kofi's going to win. And, it told a story, and it really made you feel something throughout the match. And that's the, mark of a great match. Daniel Bryan's very good at that, to be very honest. At the end of the day, I really didn't know Kofi was going to win, but I was really hoping, and he nailed it, man. They gave it to Kofi. I was pretty surprised. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think they were actually going to run with Kofi because, it is the stigma of, these are the guys that don't get the title. But they killed it. They absolutely killed it. And I couldn't have been happier for Kofi, man. You could tell, again, somebody who is just super emotional when he gets the belt. Just a very, very cool moment. So, excellent match there. Then you get Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe, and this one was pretty short. You had Rey Mysterio come out the gate hot and heavy, and then Joe catches him in the coquina clutch, and that was it. So Samoa Joe wins that really short bout. Then you get Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. The big, Roman Reigns first match back in 6 months or whatever. And Drew McIntyre, he just sells so good. He just looks the part, man. He looks like a legitimate badass. He looks like the guy that would just literally tear your head off. And so it was a really good opponent for Roman Reigns to have to go up against. There was a lot of good back and forth. Drew McIntyre, I think, ran most of the match. And then you had the big comeback at the end from Roman Reigns. The agility from a guy Drew McIntyre's size is scary. Like, legitimately scary. This guy should not be able to do half the stuff he does in the ring. So it's impressive to watch him. But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns, he makes the comeback. He gets the Superman punch, the spear. There you go. So, as far as, like, I don't know that I really had a horse in this race. I really like Drew. I really like Roman now. You know, I've always said that Roman Reigns, despite his inability on the microphone sometimes, I don't know that he's had a match that I haven't been entertained with. So, that's just where it's at. Then you get this Elias bit, where Elias is in the ring with his guitar, and then on the Titantron you've got two split screens of Elias on a piano and Elias on a drum set, and they're all playing one song together. And then so he says he's going to play another song for his encore, and then all of a sudden you get this little clip of Babe Ruth calling his shot when he, you know, said he's going to hit the home run up center field. And then John Cena comes out in his Doctor of Thuganomics. This was great, dude, because it was like the one time the crowd really, really popped for John Cena. He comes out in his old Thuganomics, you know, the chain, the little gangster bit. He comes out, he just kind of does this trashing of Elias, you know, rap battle style. And then, he even makes mention of, like, John Cena making a heel turn and stuff. Like, it was really good. It was really cool. And so he lays out Elias, does the FU instead of the AA. So that was, honestly, it was great. It really was. A very cool moment. After that, you get Triple H versus Batista. And this one, you know, I wanted to like it. And I was kind of like looking forward to this because Triple H is such a great storyteller. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, Triple H is 49 years old. Batista's 50 years old. I'm 41 and I can barely walk to the car without getting winded. Of course, I have issues, but so I'm like, you know, how good of a match can they really put on? And I gotta say, I was fucking impressed. Like, these guys put on a show. There was a lot, and, you know, some of the stuff was just basic storytelling. You know, didn't take a lot of energy, didn't take a lot of, you know, technical prowess. It was just little things that they did. Examples are Triple H grabbed a pair of vice grips and, like, put them on Batista's hand and, like, bent his fingers backward and then stepped on the vice grips. Things like that just really sold. He grabbed Batista's nose ring with those same, like, a pair of pliers, and literally pulled his nose ring out, and Batista's nose is bleeding, and it was a pretty good visual. Triple H is holding on to his nose ring, and so there was a lot of really good back and forths in there. Really good spots, so, like, really good spots all around. Triple H grabs a legitimate metal chain, and he smacks Batista over the back with it, except he's actually hitting the table first, if you notice. But, again, it looked good, and it sold. The first time he did it, you're like, oh shit, he just hit him with the chain, and then you see how he's doing it the next time. There was a backdrop from, like, Batista put some steps on one of the announce tables, and so he's standing, and Triple H backdrops him onto the middle announce table. Really good spots all the way through. There was one where Batista got powerbombed onto a steel steps in the ring and, like, literally just bounces all the way off the steps. At the end, Ric Flair comes out, throws Triple H his sledgehammer. Triple H nails Batista, hits the pedigree. There you go. Really good match. Super impressed with it. what can you say? Next match was another huge disappointment. It was Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. That's the match they actually kept. I don't know why they actually kept that. Everybody was pissing and moaning about it. Nobody wanted to see that match, especially for Kurt's last. And Baron Corbin won. I was not a fan of any of it. I was just not. Nothing about this match made me happy. And you know, it goes more than just like the heel wins or whatever. It's like Baron Corbin is a very stale personality. He's not good in the ring. As a person, I am kind of gravitating. You know, I seem to like him more and more as a person, but as a character and as a wrestler, he does nothing for me. And for him to go over Kurt Angle for his last match, it was a slap in the face to his entire career. So I was just not a fan of that at all. Kurt Angle, you know, he makes his little speech to the crowd and leaves rather unceremoniously, honestly. Then you get Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. Finn Balor is the demon, and Bobby Lashley comes out, and he actually had all he did was he put in some contacts, some color contacts, and give him some green eyes, like some weird glowing green eyes. But it was actually a really cool look. Like, I really liked the look. It was something different, and it gave Bobby Lashley, you know, I don't know how to describe it, man. It was just this creepy look. It really was. I liked it. But then, of course, Finn Balor comes out as the demon, and you know that he's going to win as the demon. And they had a pretty good back and forth. It was a better match than I thought it was going to be. Haven't really enjoyed Bobby Lashley's matches too much, but this one was really good. It was actually a spot where Finn Balor was on the outside apron, and Bobby Lashley comes charging with a suicide dive, and I was like, nice. And of course, Finn Balor very quickly turned that back around and started kicking him into the guardrails and stuff. But it was good. It really was. So Finn Balor, of course, comes out with the win. He's the new Intercontinental Champion. And then that leaves you the main event. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. They had Charlotte Flair coming down in a helicopter for her intro. Joan Jett playing Ronda Rousey's theme song. Becky Lynch didn't get too much as far as entrance goes. And then, you know, the match is on. It's hot and heavy. You have a lot of really good spots. One spot that really stuck out in my mind in particular, Ronda Rousey took a nasty, nasty bump, dude. She was hanging upside down, had Charlotte Flair hanging over the top rope in that armbar, and then here comes Becky Lynch and kicks her off the ring completely. Ronda Rousey's like legs hit the apron and she just plops. It was a nasty looking spill. So there was a lot of really good back and forth. So as you would expect with this kind of match, Charlotte Flair always brings it, Becky Lynch always brings it, Ronda Rousey's really good, I think. So this was bound to be a good match. At the end of the day, it was Becky Lynch who took it. Thought that was very cool. You had, you know, the two fan favorites really get their moment in the light, and that was awesome. So, overall, the pre-show sucked. WrestleMania, the main show, was very good. Had a couple of very weak spots, which I'm going to have to take the score down a little bit because of those. But overall, WrestleMania was a success in my opinion. And one thing that made it a success to me more than just the matches, where this was a WrestleMania where they had a lot of, you know, the legends come out and different people coming out to announce matches and things like that. They had JBL, HBK, they had the King, Jerry Lawler, but they had also Paige, Booker T. I mean, you know, they were bringing up everybody and trying to really make this feel like it was something special. And that's something that I really appreciated that WWE did with WrestleMania this year. You know, it was like every match, you know, you had something happening. And that was cool. I really liked it. So, at the end of the day, it was still a very strong outing, even though it did have a couple of slight disappointments. one very big disappointment. But with, I think what they did with a lot of the matches here, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It was very, very good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I think that was the thing, is that my expectations for this were so low that when I saw the actual show, I was like, you know what? You guys killed it. You guys did a lot better than I thought you would. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a 9 out of 10. Really fun time. Like, if you haven't checked it out yet, what are you watching this for? But go check it out. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz. Kaged Nation, out.